Today's session is on above the noise, and I'm referring to the mental chatter that happens in our head that goes on. So this is a practice of decoupling from mental chatter that often can take away our attention from our work or even our relationships. And so the invitation today is really to just allow thoughts as they are without needing to add on to them, like answering back to the thoughts or needing to subtract them, like trying to push away our thoughts. The invitation is just to let whatever arises and just let it go away in its own time. And really the logic behind this is thoughts are just mental events. They come and go like bursts of like photo burst, and or just like a running tape. And so we're just watching our thoughts as they are. The benefit of this is really to allow the mind to just settle down. And when it is more mindful and when there's a pause that we take occasionally, it allows the mind to really discern what is really important and what we really need to pay attention to, and just to focus our energy more productively. And so without further delay, I'd like to just invite you to get into a comfortable position, comfortable, but allowing you to be as engaged as possible. Really in the meditation is really to fall awake rather than to fall asleep. So as best as you can, each time if you notice that you are falling asleep or you're like zoning out, just coming back to an anchor point, and that can be your breath or any part of the body like the feet on the floor, whichever that feels comfortable for you. And if you're noticing a desire to like open your eyes or to shift or even to open your eyes and check your emails, I would like to just invite you to just pause for a moment, maybe about 10 seconds, counting 1 to 10 before actually needing to move. And maybe perhaps by then that desire to move has actually just moved along, just like our thoughts. Okay, so just closing the eyes if you wish, or just leaving them open, or softening the gaze, feet on the floor, or sitting cross-legged, hands on the lap or on the table. And giving yourself a few moments to just arrive in the present moment. The mind may be shifting from one point to another, one subject to another. Just acknowledging where the mind is going, and very gently just bringing the mind back to the body, feeling the body, perhaps feeling the weights of the body on the chair, feeling the contact points, your buttocks on the chair, or the feet on the floor. Paying attention to where you've placed your arms. So shifting away from thinking, analyzing, and just coming to the body, staying with it as best as you can. The invitation is to be conscious of the body, to notice and acknowledge the body. And when you're ready, connecting with the breath, feeling the breath, the physical sensations of breathing. And as you're noticing any thoughts that may be popping up in the mind, like a tape, running tape, or like just burst of information, just noticing and just appreciating there are thoughts there, and very gently bringing the mind back to the breath or to the body if you wish. Paying close attention to the breath, noticing how and what happens. Listen when you take an inhale And do an exhale. And each time the mind is wandering, just thanking the mind, thanking for that thought, and bringing the attention back to the breath or to the body, whichever that feels comfortable for you. And next, you are inhaling, just noticing what moves in the body, the chest, the belly expanding at each in-breath, the belly contracting at the out-breath. And if you're noticing any emotions that may be arising or body sensations, just noting what those emotions are. And as best as you can, just letting them be and bringing the mind back to the breath or body. So letting go the need to judge our thoughts or our emotions. We are merely a witness and an observer of our experiences. And just simply bringing the mind back, anchoring it on the breath or body. And if for some reason you're feeling anxiety is bubbling up, by focusing on the breath, and just very gently bringing the attention to a contact point, like a feet on the floor, hands on the lap, or just feeling the body, the belly, and just dropping in and just feeling the weights of the body on the chair or on the mats or your cushion. And if in this practice you're noticing restlessness or zoning out, so it's very normal and natural to feel that way. So taking those feelings as distractions, noticing, distraction, and very gently bringing the mind back to the breath or to the body. And now from the breath and body, we expand the awareness to listening to sounds, sounds around you, far away or nearby. Perhaps the fan, the aircon, or voices, people talking nearby, or the sound of cars passing by. And as best as you can, just noticing sounds as they are. Firstly, noticing the person who's listening to the sound, and then tuning into sounds as they are, just noting for pitch, volume, frequency, pattern. And each time a thought or an image comes to mind, or maybe a memory, just very gently bringing the mind back to sounds and just listening to sounds as they are. Just savoring the moment of just tuning into sounds, giving the mind a rest. Just taking in the sensory awareness of listening to sound. And now from sounds, we shift the attention to thoughts that might be popping up in the mind. And as best as you can, just observing thoughts as if you're tuning into sounds without judging, but just merely observing thoughts like sound. Just letting whatever come and go. As best as you can, not needing to answer back thoughts, not needing to hang on or to believe every thought that's coming up. For now, just watching thoughts as they are, coming, going, the pauses in between. And if you're finding thoughts to be too distracting and overwhelming, you can choose to return the attention back to the breath or body to help you feel more grounded. And if nothing in particular is coming to mind, it's fine. So then just feeling the body, the breath. So whether it's a comfortable thought or an uncomfortable, unwelcome thought, just letting them be as they are. For now, not needing to answer back, just giving ourselves the space, the pause, to accept that the mind is entitled to just produce thoughts as and when it feels like it. And from thoughts, also noticing what emotions that may be bubbling up or any body sensations that you're feeling as a result of the thought that's coming through the mind. And just acknowledging that sensation, that feeling, without judging. It is natural and normal to have feelings. And in this practice, it's just to observe, not needing to add more judgment or needing to push away emotions. Accepting that emotions and feelings are very much part of our human experience. And noticing that they don't stay forever, they just come, they go. They may come back again, but they will go again. And if you're noticing any strong feelings, and just telling yourself it's okay. It's okay to be here. It's okay to have feelings. And as best as you can, just letting them be. It's not a sin to have emotions. And now bringing the mind back to the breath. And if there are any lingering thoughts, just noticing them and gently bringing the mind back to feeling the breath. Each inhale, exhale, and the next moment, inhale, exhale. Bringing a sense of consciousness of the body again as you're breathing in and breathing out. And while still staying in attention of the breath of the body, feeling the weights of the body, I shall read you this poem, The Sound of Trees by Robert Frost. I wonder about the trees. Why do we wish to hear forever the noise of these? More than another noise, so close to our dwelling place. We suffer them by the day, till we lose all measure of pace and fixity in our joys, and acquire a listening air. They are that talks of going, but never gets away, and that talks no less for knowing, as it grows wiser and older, that now it means to stay. I shall have less to say, but I shall be gone. By Robert Frost. And so in this last few moments of this practice, it's taking our time, not rushing, and allowing the eyes to open when you're ready, taking in the space again. And so it ends our practice.